Poetry number 56, A Stranger on the Road. How often do you see a stranger on the road? Probably every day. But how often do you meet a stranger on the road? Some time ago, I met one on the road. I met him in such a profound way, but I am not sure how he met me, or maybe he hasn't met me yet. He just noticed me from afar. Or maybe my phrasing isn't right. My heart has met his gaze. It is me who met him. He seems to be on a drive to a long journey. Soon he'll set away. Poetry number 57, The Surrender. Her heart is an unexplored territory, waiting to be conquered and subdued, not by a man thirsty for power, but a man so worthy for her to surrender all that is of her to all that is of him. She pondered, why such intense desire to be conquered, to be overpowered by a man? Maybe she's just growing as a woman, not only as a human being. Poetry number 58, Love Poem. On one afternoon, I flew 1,000 miles worth of distance, flew with the sunlight from coast to coast in the universe of reveries. Now I'm sitting across you. I can't stop looking at your face. Can I come over? I ask you. Yes, you said, with wrinkles on your forehead. Close your eyes for a moment, I said. Okay, you say. Now your eyes are fixed on mine. Then I walk towards you and kiss your closed eyes gently. But a flame starts on your chest. Honey, you say, looking at you so close it's like I'm looking at a painting, but the feeling is 100 times stronger. Poetry number 59, The Loneliest Road. I got a dream last night, I told him. I was a high school girl, the kind who never talks to anyone at school. When the school was over, I walked back home alone. I passed through the crowd of my friends, wordlessly. I walked and walked through a narrow road, but never arrived. Didn't even know which direction is leading home, but I kept walking until it was night. I was worried that some stranger might kill or kidnap me, so I thought I should take a bus. But no bus was passing by. It was the loneliest road that I can remember, so long and endless, and all of it was filled with the anticipation of not wanting to be at home. I understand, he said. Poetry number 60, People Like Us. There are many kinds of people in the world, but I only understand the kind that shelters me and you. People who never feel at home, who wakes up restless and go to sleep afraid. People who always got lost in a new and unfamiliar room with some new and strange people. People who always wants to go home, but the bus never arrive, and the boat always leave us behind. Poetry number 61, The Boat Dream. Let's live in a boat. In the ocean we will float. The stars would be our light. The water would be our crypt. Pack your things, bring your books. Hurry up, I'm waiting on the boat. Poetry number 62, Your Hair. Cut your hair and I'd like you more, I told him selfishly. I like my hair this way. It is the best of all the other options. Oh, I said carelessly. But you have the right to have preference, he said rationally. But a few months later, as I like him more, I like his hair all the more, the root of all his thoughts, the extension of his contemplations, beautiful like a temptation. Poetry number 63. I pick up a book and read it. There are too many nights, of long and painful nights, when I waited impatiently for you. You left without a word, never told me anything. Should I wait or should I leave? And I kept on waiting till it hurts inside. The moon is going down. It leaves the sky in total darkness. It's not time for the sun yet, and I am still waiting in uncertain and I am still waiting in uncertainty. My chest, it is begging me to stop. It kicks in with anger and in restless bitterness. I ignore my chest. I pick up a book and I read it in pain. Poetry number 64, Neon Lights. You propose a plan one day to meet in Japan on a rainy day, so we can walk on the streets with colorful water tossing our feet. You change the plan one day. It's impossible for us, you say, to walk the street or to sit beside the window. Why? I ask in sadness. Neon lights are too powerful a binder, you answered. When two people watch them together, it would be hard to grow them apart from each other. It would hurt both of us altogether. I don't understand, I said in a sickening pretense. Poetry number 65, Leaf. Honey, why can't you appreciate me? I ask without a question mark, as if you can force someone to like yourself. Poetry number 66, Between My Pillow. In between my pillow and my nose are the breath from my chest, put into flame by your words, a synthesis of love too deep, it becomes hatred. It is watery out of blood, and heavy as a mountain on a thin paper, slicing the most fragile of a heart, already breaking out of a longing and desires unfulfilled. Blood everywhere, in between my pillow and my breath. Poetry number 67, Life After Love. It's been months since we first met. The night was beautiful when you picked me up at the train station to your house where we made love. But I couldn't stop the emptiness after, no matter how much I craved you before and how much I enjoyed our lazy talk with your languid eyes in the bed. I always knew it somehow, no matter how beautiful, how fast it transports blood in my cells, I can't rely my existence on this alone. Quickly my mind runs to the pages in my notebook where I store all my writings and thoughts, even about you. Poetry number 68, Covenant. I love him. I want him to be the most content in his life. How could I possibly do that, except by living in the truth? What is the truth now, but hidden in the writing of these verses? Poetry number 69, Nothing New. The art of love is hidden in the courage to let go when you need him the most. He might stay, he might leave, and you let him choose. Chapter 6, Life. Poetry number 70, A Dreamer's Contemplation. Sometimes he comes uninvited, just like the wind, he flows so freely, and you never knew where he comes from or where will he go. Sometimes he flies as fast as the bird, escaping praying fishes hiding under the water. What can I do to tame him forever? How could I make him live so close to me, perhaps inside my heart, so I can summon him whenever I need? Or should I let him go altogether and start riding the wave with my bare hands, because I began to hate my own excitement? Poetry number 71, The Randomness of Feelings. One day, when I was trapped in a valley, suddenly a flash of image appeared, in the most random ways. It sparked some dose of optimism in my mind, like sugar would do to your blood when you're feeling so tired and weak. I was reading people criticizing Michel Houellebecq for his depressive and nihilistic writings. I used to dislike Michel Houellebecq, but now I like him. And I knew where the criticism came from. It came from the most comfortable of a life. Poetry number 72, The Cure to Pain. I know how to make life less painful, less lonesome and brainless. Act like you're merely an observer, a third party, not the main character. You've trained yourself to do it by sitting before the television, watching life happens to people and the way they respond to it. Poetry number 73, Beauty. Yesterday I walked the dog outside. We came back home when the sun was in a certain position that it created an ember in the sky, fell upon the coconut trees across the rice fields. I have seen it so many times before, and it always made me sad, because I always knew soon it will end. But yesterday, a wind of understanding blew. I realized the best way to enjoy such beauty is to stop for a moment, acknowledge that it's beautiful, and then walk past it to continue your life. Poetry number 74. Life, it makes me laugh. Will it be wrong to view life as a game of sort? Because many of our misery in the nights will disappear after a good night's sleep or sometimes after a nap. When you close your eyes, the wave of the ocean will secretly come, washing over the dirty mud that came with the night to your heart. When you wake up, if you are lucky enough, you will feel better. But sometimes your misery is like a sequence of bad dreams that never ends. Then all you can do is to bear it and change yourself into a monster. Doesn't matter how much it hurts you, you have to bear it, or else it will destroy you in laughter. Poetry number 75. Is it possible to live without a belief? After cleaning the floor, I cried as I stroked the dog's hair. Not because I was tired or lonely, but because my longing for him reminds me that I don't believe in anything anymore. And by not believing in anything, I have no ground to stand for everything of my future. I am left being nowhere and going nowhere. That is frightening, that in this vast universe, you are left alone. Poetry number 67, Losing Myself. I fear losing him, not because I fear losing him. The truth is, I fear losing my feelings for him. This feeling is the pillar for my existence. It is the thing that I cling to for survival. If I lose this feeling, I would be left with nothing. I would fall into the dark void of emptiness. It would stuff my heart with nothingness. Poetry number 77. How do you cope with loneliness? I walk around the house, feeling empty and anxious about my aloneness. In trying to ease the thicker darkness, I bounce my step a bit. I check myself in the mirror. With my lipstick still red and somewhat thick, I look beautiful, but still empty. And so I smiled. I was hungry, and I planned to cook some instant noodle. So I walked towards the kitchen, with a pack of Indomie in my hand. On my way to the kitchen, I small talked with my friend. In doing that, I raised my voice, trying to sound normally cheerful, pretending as if there is no fear or emptiness currently eating parts of my heart out. Poetry number 78, Movement. You can always see whether someone is actually happy through their movements. You can always point someone whom their energetic movements is just an alibi to hide an inner war of fighting the cruel and vicious emptiness. Whenever you see someone like that, Don't put on a sad face. Just give them a high five and say nothing. That would suffice to help them through the day. Poetry number 79. Time. Right now I'm laying in my bed, with my mind recalling the moments a few hours ago when I was sitting at the kitchen table. I was writing a story of Hemingway. The sun was warm, and the green plant on my table looked so softly green. Poetry number 80. Death. This one thing I have not defeated. Everything else is subject to change, but this one is as sure as itself. There is nothing you can compare it with. Poetry number 81. The mango fruit. And as she tasted the sweetness of the mango, she is reminded of how bitter life is. She almost forgot that this kind of sweetness exists in life. She was shocked about it for a moment, but then, when she was sober enough, she knew very well that the taste of the mango is just a very small part of reality. She refused to be comforted by such a small part of reality. Poetry number 82. The face of death. The face of death is not sad. Sometimes it is a smile, a proud kind of smile, like that of a fisherman who brings home a big marlin after a few days of hard work in the ocean. The face of death is not gloomy. Sometimes it is languid and soft, like that of a woman who falls asleep with her man on a rainy afternoon. The saddest thing about death is the silence. What is there on the other shore? What would happen to the people who lived without a belief? Even to such questions, death gives no answer, for it is void of language beyond the rational. Poetry number 83. The Old Man and the Sea. I saw some pictures of a shack in Cuba. In there, an old skinny man, Santiago, and a little boy, Manolin. I haven't figured quite clearly, but those pictures touch home so deep that after seeing it, I was thinking, it's okay, I can be dead now. Poetry number 84. Don't worry about me. To the few people who are praying for me, who longs to snatch me from the hands of the evil one, what is it that you want from me? I guess you want me to settle down in the domain of rules. I guess you want me to get out of the domain of struggle. Life gives me no option but to stay in the ladder. Someone said that this kind of life will always break your heart. But sometimes life also showed me its funny sides. Sometimes it made me laugh like there is no tomorrow. Though I still wonder many times, would I stop laughing someday? Would death swallow with it the coldness, the silence, the emptiness, then vanish as a shadow under the light? Well, Michelle said that those things will be the only remains of life, that those things would not disappear like a shadow under the light. But dear friends, this will be the answer to your prayer. Don't worry about me. I'm growing, strong as the mahogany trees in southern Florida. The wind has been vicious and cruel, wild as the emptiness that comes after the sunset. But I'm still standing here, for whatever reason there is, fighting the loneliness that kills. Poetry number 44. 44. It is okay to be forgotten sometimes, to not be part of the order, or the new order whatsoever. It is okay to not be understood sometimes. What is naked would be shown naked eventually. It is okay to retreat for a while, just to think your way through, to be true to yourself. Just don't forget that you're the missing piece, part of the answer to what everyone is looking for. Hey 44, sing to die, swim to exist. This is the end of the book. Thank you very much for listening. I hope some of the poetry can resonate with you, and I hope some of it can inspire you to live better, to live to the fullest, to be true to